What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. I gotta come up with a new intro. I gotta do something different.
Something new?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope, that ain't it.
Hello, gentlemen and
Nope, still wrong.
ladies and germs. Hello, folks.
No.
Hello.
I don't even think we have to take a poll.
Howdy.
Everyone listening is like, nope, wrong.
Howdy.
Nope.
Howdy, everyone.
They're like, the intro you had was fine.
Just do what you were doing.
Just stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back.
There you go. There it is.
It's Joe here and Robbie.
Roberto. As we learned last week, that's my first and middle name. Was it
Check-
Roberto Robbie or Robbie
Check
Roberto?
his birth certificate.
I think it's Roberto Robbie.
It is Roberto Robbie. If you look on his birth certificate, that's what it says. I'm not arguing with the government, okay?
No.
I'm not your parents. I didn't write that down for you.
It's crazy.
It is what it is, man. We played some golf this morning, and for anyone in Kentucky, by chance listening to this, who is also into golf, you gotta go to Park Mammoth. We're trying to get the secret out. I mean, the secret's out. I feel like already there's so many people that are figuring out that this course is just incredible. We learned a bit of the backstory today.
Yeah, so it just opened technically last spring.
Yeah,
reopened. So it was a course a long time ago, and then it was closed, and it was from what I understand too, like the old version of the course was pretty straightforward, round greens, sloped back to front, and spongy, and never really worked on, and kind of just disrepair. That is not what this is now.
Quite difficult greens.
Yeah, like when you talk about green complexes in golf, like the bunkers, the greens, the stuff around the green, like kind of the section of the golf course that you hit the ball into to approach, that I would say they're some of the best green complexes I've ever played into.
Best I've ever played, I think.
They're phenomenal. I mean, great defense for the golf course. I mean, they're just undulating greens. I mean, greens that move up and down 3 to 4 feet across them.
And we talked so many times today about putts that look, and they you step up to them, you're like, oh, it's right there. It's a little 10-foot putt.
Yep.
But you have all this undulation behind you, even the slight slope, right? Even within that 10-foot, putt it's gonna be moving some way.
It's tricky to read them.
Very tricky.
And then even making the putts, because they roll pure. So I mean, I would say they were probably playing like an 11 or 12 stimp today. Yeah. So they roll. They're
very
pure.
Fun. Very fun.
But it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And there's no houses, no subdivisions around it. It feels like you're just kind of out in nature. It's about 45 minutes from us, but we've been twice in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
3
weeks.
Yeah.
It's special. It is. And they're still in the process. Like, it's so new. They're just now building the clubhouse. It looks like it's going to end up being epic. It's supposed to be open in the spring, and my fear is more people are going to hear about it.
The price is going to go up.
The price is going to go up.
It is. Yeah. We learned a bit today from the starter who has worked there for 18 years.
18 years. So he worked there during the crummy times too, because I mean, obviously it's just now new.
So now he's the default starter, which is awesome.
That's what he said he wanted to do. He just wanted to retire and work at the golf course so he can play for free. So now he gets to play.
We love it.
For free.
He was cool, and he told us a bit of the backstory. And the developer, basically, it's a real estate developer who bought this property, and they know how to build stuff that people want to go to based on some of their other properties that we heard about today. So just if you're around this area, who knows? I don't know if we have many Kentucky listeners, but if you are,
or even if you're traveling through, you're around, like
you want to come.
This is a course golf. Now everything around the course, like it's not like this is a destination at this point. Now, they may get their clubhouse done. It may have a fantastic restaurant, which is the plan. That it may be a place where you could, hang out for the day or something kind of thing. They have a great driving range. They have a couple great putting spots and stuff. So it could be a place like if you're passing through or wanted to spend most of your day there, you eventually could maybe next season. For right now, though, like it's in the middle of nowhere. So
which is kind of the allure now. It's so fun.
I love that.
You drive into this holler, basically, and it's just like, here's the golf course.
Yeah, you stand up where you park, which is where the clubhouse will be, and you look left and right, and as far as you can see,
it's the course.
It's golf, and then it's trees, and then it's it.
That's it. Cool.
It's like, and today it was like 75, 76 degrees outside, no humidity, nice breeze. It was, gosh, it was just heavenly.
Nice. It was real
if you
nice.
play golf, you understand it. Like when you get out and the weather's perfect and you're playing a golf course that is manicured,
and we played like
attention to detail, and we played really well.
And we play well. Like that makes it
just
makes it really, really nice. So yeah,
and we came back to the office to get work done.
Yeah,
so
right.
Kudos to us.
That's right. We did it. Pat on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Pat on the back. So, all right, golf stuff out of the way. Let's dive into some news from the week. I think first is some exciting news that was first kind of dug up. Mainly, did you see anything about it before 9 to 5 posted?
No. So yeah, Kyle.
So Kyle found it and posted.
Chromebook X originally.
Okay. I didn't want to misstate that. Yeah.
We found that it was Chromebook Plus, and.
But these devices specifically.
Oh yeah. So this.
Did he dig those up first?
Yeah. So he ended up finding a commit where it ended up getting pulled too. So that's how you know somebody probably screwed up. Usually they don't pull, like we'll find stuff and post it and they don't pull them. Like they pulled this down. So, but it was very plain. Like the file or the change that he found was very specific, very plain. Let me pull it up here. It had multiple, so you can see it right here on screen. And shout out right now, if you're not watching on YouTube, watch the podcast on YouTube because we show you around all this stuff. You don't have to go click into it yourself.
So fun. Such a nice little addition we've just added. I love it. Yeah. So easy. Why didn't we do this before? I don't know. Whatever. We're doing it now.
But you can see the image that he found. It's clearly just a file in one of the changes. But so I can't link to it because it's now gone. But it basically says, like, here's CBX. You can see at the top, temporarily disable lacrosse for CBX, Chromebook X, Chromebook Plus devices for short term. Once they're stabilized, we'll go to lacrosse. And so this is identifying, hey, here's CBX devices. And so you got to go a step deeper, looking at, if you look at the screen, obviously these are code names. And so I look at most of those and I kind of know what they are, but some of them I was like, I don't remember. And I think in Kyle's post about it, there were a couple he left as like, I'm not sure. And then he put a couple different models for some of the ones that are out already. And the Chromebook baseboards can do this. Like that same baseboard can spurn a couple variants of devices. So I did the best I could taking those model names and kind of going on and saying that this is probably the one that it's going to be. So here, if we go down, I'm going to go down to this one first. So the four that we know of: Frostflow, Gimbal, Tyco, I guess, Tyco, and Peugeotine.
You got it.
Yeah, that's it.
You nailed it.
So Peugeotine, like I think he had listed the Flex 3i, which is not the case. So Peugeotine is the Slim 3 Chromebook, which is a MediaTek processor. That's a completely different board. Even though they're kind of like they're like brother and sister devices. The Flex 3i that we reviewed has the N100 processor in it, so it's an Intel-based board. So completely different base board. Peugeotine for sure is the Slim 3i, which when we reviewed it, remember I said this could be one of those Chromebooks that, you know, down the road ends up being Chromebook Plus model, because like the fit and finish, even though it's a cheaper Chromebook, like the fit and finish is nice. The webcam's nice. I want to say
you said that in the unboxing.
I think I might have, and like the screen's really good.
Did we do a review on that? No,
I think we just unboxed it. Keyboard's really nice. Like it just, even though it's all plastic, it's like, man, the fit of this thing, like this feels really nice.
It's got all these properties that they talked about.
Right,
that,
full HD screen, full HD webcam, I think, on that one. Anyway, so there's that one. The IdeaPad 5i Chromebook, which basically is we did an unboxing of it. We basically did our time with it. Like, hey, there's the Lenovo gaming Chromebook, and then there's this one, and you almost can't tell them apart. They're the same thing. And all it is you take out the 350 nit. It's got the Lenovo one has, or the gaming Chromebook has the same screen as the Acer 516 GE. So 16-inch, 16 by 10, quad HD, 120 hertz. They have this. I think they're the same screen. The IdeaPad 5i goes down to a standard 60 hertz screen. I think it's still 300 nits, but the screen changes and a couple little small things change. And so it's that device. The X360 14C, which is gimbal, which is the latest HP convertible Chromebook. And it makes sense, obviously. It checks a lot of what I would say would be Chromebook Plus boxes. And then the CM34 Flip, which we have not reviewed. We unboxed that one. No. I don't even know if we've done a video on it yet.
CM34, yes, we did. CM34, we did.
The Navy one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was unboxing. Shoot, I don't know. That was the unboxing I think we did. Was that the one we did during all of the construction bull crap? Hold on.
Yeah.
I think so. Let's see.
But I remember I had to write deal articles on that one while you were in Italy, and I was like, it's just awkward. I've been using this. We haven't really done the unboxing video yet or anything, but trust me, it's good. So that one's on there, which I think is good. I'm actually using that device right now because we're going to do our review of it. Like, I've kind of had my thoughts together.
CM14 was what we did.
Okay, yeah,
over there. So I don't think we've done the 34.
No, and so it arrived at a weird time. It arrived, I think, the day after you left, and I was like, I'm not leaving this in the box till you come back. So I just wanted to try it out. I really like it. So it's the CX34, the Vibe gaming Chromebook in navy. Take out the 144 hertz screen, take it down to a 300 nit screen. Take out the RGB keyboard. That's about it. It's basically the same. And then flop the Intel processor for the latest AMD Ryzen 3 7000 series processor inside. So it's been a really solid device. I like it. I like the keyboard on it. It's got good speakers, good screen, and it's nice. So those are the ones that are, again, most likely the ones that I would say of those boards. Now there are a couple different devices that come off of those boards, but based on, again, they're saying like 1080p screens and stuff, like it's got to be those. And then what's interesting is over at cross.tech, if you're not familiar with cross.tech, basically is Google's Omaha server, which is kind of the updates and version number of Chromebooks server that exists. It's kind of like public. And then whoever is behind cross.tech basically took that server and made it look nice and searchable and kind of sortable. So cros.tech, if you go there, you can search by the like consumer model name, but you can also search by code names too and look for devices. Interestingly enough, I think that one, yes. I think 3 of these showed up in there. So we'll start. I'm gonna start at the bottom of my list here. The HP Chromebook 15.6 Yavix. I don't know. I don't know where these come from.
Yavix. I like Yavix.
Yavix. That is like that model number is the device that's at Best Buy right now. But it is pretty affordable, cheaper looking 15.6 inch Chromebook that comes with the N200 processor, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. But then it's like 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, a 1366 by 768 screen. That's probably not great. And so it's like, how would that fit in this whole Chromebook Plus thing? But I went to HP's website and looked. They do have a version of that Chromebook that will come with up to 8 gigs of RAM, up to the Core i3, the N305 or something that they're making. So there is an upgraded version, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. Which one it'll be technically, I don't know, but I would lean towards that one showing up as a Chromebook, like branded with Chromebook Plus on it. I don't think they're going to take this affordable Chromebook that doesn't really meet any of the standards that we even think that this is going to be and roll it into it, because it just doesn't. Like it doesn't have the webcam, it doesn't have the screen. The processor would be the only thing that would kind of fit it in, but that's not enough. So the fact they have a nicer one out or a nicer one on the way on their website tells me that's probably going to be the one. Mm-hmm. So then we move up to Marasov. I don't think that one's in cross.tech either. And it is listed as CX3402 CBA. Let me check to make sure I'm not lying on that. So go to everyone can see cross.tech here. Marasov. Oh, it is in there. I lied. I'm sorry. I'm a liar. Because I was like, I don't remember where Kyle got that number. So that shows up as this. So it's board Bria. So you can kind of see. Oh, that's not a touchscreen. You can see the board is Bria. So that means it's a 12th gen Alder Lake device. Codename Marasov. CX34, if you keep up with these, should sound familiar. That's that white gaming Chromebook. It's this Vibe CX34 Flip. This doesn't say Flip on it, for one, so it could just be a clamshell. And two, this model number here, CX3402CBA, does not match. The Vibe is a 3401. So it is a slightly different model. I wouldn't expect it to be very different. But I don't know. I mean, it could be wildly different. It doesn't take a whole lot in the model names for them to change. So the chance then is that's at least a 12th gen Alder Lake. It could be the NISA is the N series. So it's at least gonna be like an i3, i5 version. So I'm really curious about that one because Asus's last few Chromebooks have been pretty cool. And I'm curious to see if it ends up being a Flip. It just could be listed wrong in there. We don't know yet. So so now you've got an N level 12th gen chip, so an N200 probably chip, or maybe that new i3. It's an N. Intel's changing all this stuff up. So these new small core chips, you have the N100, N200, and then like an i3-305, I think is what it is, or something. But I'm pretty sure it's like Pentium Silver, Pentium Gold kind of situation. So I'm not even sure where that i3 lines up. I don't know if I think that particular i3 is actually in the small core family, and then you'll have the i3 that goes with the big cores, whatever. But the N100 and N200 are super fast.
Solid.
Oh my gosh, for mobile processors, they're really, really fast. Any of those would work. So then you got that. Now you've got a 12th gen Alder Lake. Because, like I said, Bria is a 12th gen, like big core Alder Lake. And then these top two, the 515 and 514 from Acer, become really interesting now as well. Did I go? Yeah, I got into there. So, first off, Acer has Plus in their name. So, the Acer Chromebook Plus 514, 515. So, there's two different models, but they're just slapping Plus right in there. And I'll bring you over here real quick. What was the code name? What was your code name? So FrostFlow, I know just off the top of my head, that is an AMD device. And Omnigul and Markarth. I want to say it's one of each on these. I like that name, Omnigul. So we'll go to Omnigul here, and we can see Bria. So that's 12th gen Alder Lake. So that's if we go by Acer's models, 5 usually denotes mid-range, but how they discern mid-range is interesting sometimes. Like if it's a 3 in front of it, it usually means affordable, like lots of plastic, that kind of stuff. But like the 513 that has the MediaTek 1380 in it is mostly metal. It feels exactly like the 713, same screen, same keyboard, all that stuff. So it's like
device.
Some of it is because of processor. I don't know how they discern that. So once you get to the 500 and the 700 levels, they can be really nice, or they can be mid-range. So this would be a 15-inch 500 level device. And then what is the other one? Markarth. Let's look that guy up. Markarth.
I have no idea what any of these names are from. No idea.
Okay, so that one's a board. This board Skyrim. So that's this new Asus Ryzen 3 700 series that's in that Asus I'm using right now. So that's what will be in this 514. So it'll be a 14-inch. We just did a review of the 714. Is it going to be as nice as that? Probably not. The 514s usually, it's not in here. That 828, the MediaTek Companion 828 is a 514 Acer. So it has some nice pieces and some, all plastic pieces. And so they'll kind of mix those up. Those mid-range ones can kind of vary all over the place, but it's so interesting that those have Plus in the name. It's not, and again, this is from cross.tech, so I mean, it could be the HP Chromebook Plus 15.6 inch. It could be the Asus Chromebook Plus CX34. Honestly, most likely that's what it will be. So don't be surprised with that. It's just interesting already in cross.tech to see the 514, 515, and they're not flips, so these might all end up being clamshells to start. But the idea here, if you've not kept up with Chromebook Plus and Chromebook X, is this idea that they'll be high attention to detail. They'll contain things where video chats are going to be good, so 1080p plus webcams, better screens than normal, hopefully better naming conventions, better attention to detail with the build quality, like those types of things. But ideally staying in, especially if you look at the devices that we know that are out. So the 34, X360, the 5i, these are $400 and $500 Chromebooks.
Yeah, these aren't just the 750 plus flagship devices.
You've got Acer Chromebook Plus, 514, 515, probably a CX34 that's going to be similar to the CX34 and stuff like that. Like, these aren't going to be $1,000 Chromebooks. So it's not like Chromebook Plus is all HP Dragonfly Pros. That's not what this is, because they understand the market. Like, the fat middle of the Chromebook market is these types of devices. These ones that for the money you're kind of surprised and almost like, wow, I can't believe I'm getting this much computer for that kind of price. So
yeah, and we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah,
like,
we've spent time
that whole idea of just Chromebooks fitting in that spot so nicely.
It's especially for consumers, and that's the idea behind this is, let's create a sub-brand basically in the Chromebook market, so that when somebody walks in and there's at a bigger Best Buy, there's 20 Chromebooks sitting on the shelf. How do they discern easily which ones are the ones they want to go for? If somebody tells them, hey, go, just if it has Plus in there, look at it. And they look and there's 5 of them. And they go, okay, of these, because now look at, if you look at just this group here, you've got a 14-inch, the CX34 likely is probably going to be 14-inch. You're going to have 2 14 inches and 2 15-inch devices. It's very simplistic. It's very straightforward. Hopefully, we'll get some tablets in there, and we'll get some smaller devices in there, and you'll just have a family of Chromebook Plus devices. And then the added thing is, we're expecting, some software things. So like the help me write stuff that is supposed to be like AI driven, OS wide AI that could help you in any text field. Like, you need to give a suggestion on how to better write that, or help me rephrase the sentence, or whatever the case may be, help change the tone of this thing. It doesn't matter if you're in Gmail or text messages or WhatsApp or whatever. That app doesn't have to support the AI. Chrome OS just has it at an OS level. The idea, like, I think, did we talk about that last week? I don't know if we did or not. I think that was last week's news, but that it's coming. Like, clearly, it's another 9 to 5 found that one. That stuff's coming to Chrome OS, and what it looks like they're testing it to be a CBX or Chromebook X, Chromebook Plus feature. So it'll be something that they're going to have a few features guaranteed, that even though Chromebook Plus won't be, it's not like, oh, they're so special, they're the only ones that can handle it. Like, hopefully they're not going to market it that way, which is silly. I think they do that with Pixel sometimes. Like Tensor allows you to do blah, blah, blah on your camera. Like, does it though? I'm pretty sure a Snapdragon could do all that
I think some old Snapdragons could do this.
But, they use it to kind of create this, like, oh, that's exclusive, right? That's a thing that only they can do because they only have only they have that processor. I hope they don't market it that way with Chromebooks, because like Chromebooks clearly aren't stand out from a like spec sheet perspective. But I think it's like, hey, for Chromebook X devices, we have, as Google, we have greater control over these devices. We've exerted. We're not going to give Chromebook X labels to just anybody. And granted, yes, they have their hands on basically every Chromebook that comes out. We've said this before, and that is true. But that control that they exert only goes so far when it comes to a standard Chromebook. Like, as long as it kind of meets the general parameters, they sign off on it and let the manufacturer make it, and make it bad or make it good. And then you have devices like the HP Dragonfly Pro, where HP is like, hey, we want your help, and they built something really special.
Collaborative device, and they're on phone calls for however many months. They said they were like talking through that device.
Cycle, and so, and I'm not saying that it'll be to that level necessarily with every Chromebook Plus, but I feel like they're wanting to move it into that direction of let's give ourselves a little control back over some of these devices, and then we can give them a special thing. And then if consumers start going and buying those things, well, guess what? Everybody else is want to get in on the new special thing, and then they come to Google and go, how do we get in on the new special thing? We want a Chromebook Plus, Chromebook X thing, and Google says, hey, I'm glad you asked. Stop naming your Chromebooks stupid things. Stop building them with subpar build quality. Make better choices when it comes to your webcam. Make better choices when it comes to your keyframe and your trackpad. Make sure it's not creaky and you can't click the trackpad by bending the device. Like, make sure that it's got enough ports in it to get the job done. Like, we're going to make sure we have a little more say in how these things go out the door. And they go, well, everyone's buying Chromebook Pluses, so yeah, I guess we'll do it. Let's work with you. And it's almost like this forced collaboration that Google's creating here, and I'm all for it. The Chromebook market has gotten so frayed.
They've needed to do it.
It's time to at least create something in the middle that's like, hey, these are devices we have our hand on a little bit more. And Google does really well with hardware that they choose to kind of invest their time into. Like think about any Google hardware. It's always well crafted and considered and nice.
Even just some of the collaborative devices that weren't even publicly announced as collaborative devices. Like,
I always go back to
there's a few that
the HP 11, that little pill-shaped guy, and I look back at our video. That video's terrible. Please don't go watch it. But
no, we're linking it. We'll link that in the show notes.
But that device,
for sure,
that was like Pizza Box days.
Yeah,
that was one of those.
Pizza Box days.
I use pizza boxes to prop up a tablet to record.
The good old days.
But it. Like when I look at the boxing on that and stuff, I'm like,
it's very googly.
Of course it's Google. Like HP,
it was all white.
Like it was mostly Google, and HP was like, oh, we'll build it for you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and so there are these devices where they've got their hand on it. But if you take that device, you take a bit of the Samsung Chromebook Plus, Chromebook Pro, like how different those were back in those days. Even now, like
100%.
If they built those devices today and fixed a couple of small nags, and Skylake wasn't the catastrophe that it was, because 6th gen Intel was terrible. Those devices still, I think about them and I'm like, they're still really good looking devices.
My mom has, what was the Best Buy Plus?
So then they did the one
second
after that.
version of the Best Buy Plus. That was solid.
It's still
my mom has
too.
it. I go in and update it for her. I'll open it up and you're like, you're on 89. What are you
You're 14 versions of the OS behind.
All you gotta do is just click restart. It's very simple.
My wife does that too.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, Mom, come on.
Why didn't you take your update? Well, I was just in the middle of stuff.
I was in
something.
It takes 2 seconds.
Well, then when you close it for the night, click the button, and when you come back, it'll be nice and fresh. But
to your point, great device that Google definitely had some say in, for sure.
And then think about all the Chromebooks, both of the Pixels, and I'm talking about Chromebook Pixels for all you out there going, what are you talking about? It's a phone. It was a Chromebook. It was a Chromebook first, Chromebook Pixel, and then Pixel 2015.
Straight. Get it right.
The Pixel Book, the Pixel Slate. I know it was doomed. The keyboard was the keyboard was good. It was just the stand part of it was not thought out, I don't think, very well.
I was moving some things around the office and grabbed the Slate out of there, and I was like,
as a tablet,
I took it out of the case and everything. Just held it for a second. I was like, I miss you, because I used that at the house for a while.
It was good.
And
great speakers
and loved it.
Great screen.
But just a few things that
the Chromos tablet mode just wasn't ready. Pixelbook Go. I mean, you look at their track record when it comes to laptops and even tablets. Like the Nexus 7 was special. That was a cool tablet. And I know they built that with Asus, but those were great tablets. The Pixel tablet's great. All the Pixel phones, for the most part, there's been small little issues here and there, but they've been really great.
Well made.
Home stuff.
Thoughtfully created.
Your cameras. I mean, just pick something that Google makes hardware-wise. Like I still look at the Google Home Max. If you don't have one of those and can find one, you should get it. It's so wonderful. It just thoughtfully designed hardware.
We had it when we rearranged the office. We had taken the one entertainment console out of here. We put it back in its little cove.
Yeah.
And turned it back on. We were like,
it's like a little spot built for.
That sounds so good.
Yeah. It adds a little.
Gives it just a little bit of extra juice.
And the cool part too is like, to get off on a little tangent, the Home Max it's got like 4 microphones on it, so it's it's constantly listening to the way the sound comes back to it and readjusting itself for its environment, which is it's just cool. I mean, it's little bitty things that Google pays attention to as a hardware company. And so we bring all that back to Chromebook X, Chromebook Plus.
They're adding that value now to. Right. They're giving it to manufacturers. It's like, well, you gotta.
They're kind of foisting it on them a little bit. If all this
here
works.
are the criteria if you choose to follow them.
If you want to be in the cool game.
Hey, if you want this,
now it has to work. And so, like these first devices need to be good.
Yeah.
And then if they need to add more devices to it, obviously, than just four new ones. So they're going to add these other devices clearly, and probably more that come down the road. But, hopefully by mid-year next year, there's a nice little library of Chromebook Plus devices that kind of span the spectrum. Hopefully we have some tablets and some smaller devices and larger ones and convertibles and non-convertibles, so that if you want to go in and I'm just buying Chromebook Plus because I know that they're great quality, there'll be some selection, some variety there. But yeah, it's cool to see some of those names come up, and I'm like, if they're at this point, it's got to be around the corner. If they're labeling existing devices that are out, I feel like it's around the corner.
And just to clarify, for those listening, will these devices have that plus in the name? You kind of already alluded to it with the Acers.
The Acers
and stuff,
do. I'm hoping there's some
Google's
branding
going to require
on the box. I don't know. That's a good question.
Do you think it's going to go on the box? Is it going to go on the device? Is it going to say Chromebook Plus on the top? Just Chromebook.
Ooh, I don't know if it'll be on the hardware or not. I feel like there's been
probably
some stuff like
up there,
splash screen. It'll be its own splash screen. I know that, and there'll be some features, and it'll probably have some stuff as you start it up that'll vary. It'll be a little bit of a different experience, and so it's going to be interesting as this starts to roll out to see the divide. And there's certain things I just don't think that they'll keep divided. So the AI, for instance. If that becomes pervasive and a lot of people start using it, I just don't see that being a thing they only hold for Chromebook Plus.
It'll be like the Pixel stuff.
Yeah, they'll
hold it for a little while, and then
it's a thing that they can use to kind of drum up business a little bit, and then eventually release it to the rest of the Chromebook community. Because
although is Magic Eraser sit out for other devices?
Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it's on. It's like you can do it on the web now.
Right. Okay. I thought it was out.
It took a year and a half for it. So I could see them kind of
doing that sort of thing.
It's cool, and then when it's buzzworthy, and then eventually once it's normalized, and a lot of OSs are doing that and whatever, then you just kind of trickle it out to everybody else after that. So I could see them doing that, but I'm excited to see these devices. And I don't want to overhype them. I don't want to expect that the very first Chromebook Pluses are going to have to set the stage, but they do need to be good. They have to be good, because if they come out of the gate and they're terrible, it's like you've set a weird stage.
They have to set a precedent. They have to set a precedent.
They do.
100%.
That's a lot to put on a few devices. Hopefully there are more coming.
Yeah.
Shortly after. But at least of a couple of these, and again, it's not like they have to be the best Chromebook ever made. They got
to get all the basic stuff right. It's like we've said for so long.
The same thing that the Slim 3i did, where I'm like, for this kind of money, this build quality,
this has got some extra goodies here. Basically,
300 nit screen. This is surprising. Like people need to be surprised when they get these out of the box. Basically, is what it comes down to. And
fingers crossed.
I'm hoping they
I do feel like something's around the corner. We'll obviously keep reporting.
It's coming.
On chromeunbox.com. So stay tuned there, and stay tuned here on the podcast. But we're going to take a quick break, and we've got some other stuff to talk about. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. So we have other stuff on the list, but we're probably just going to talk about one other thing.
Well, it's kind of two things like mixed together. So the event and the leak go together.
Let's start with the event.
Yeah. So yesterday at lunch, right? It was yesterday. You'd run over.
I was over at the house, and you sent me.
I sat down and made me a sandwich, and I sat down at the table, and I was like,
oh, "What's this?"
Oh, there's that. And I remember, we get those, and it's like, "Oh my god!" Like running around the office, like, "Look at
check it out! We got the invite."
And I'm not saying I'm like, "Oh, I'm too cool for that now."
No, we're still excited.
Super excited. Like I want to go. We can't say what the conflict could be.
Right.
The good news is
working through that.
Yeah. October 4th, 10 a.m., Google hardware. And so, that's the other part of this. This is iteration 8 of that whole thing, like Google hardware, October, and they're kind of sticking with their thing. It's fun that it's October 4th. I think there was one other year it was they stayed on the 4th, but the first one was October 4th. And so we talked about the 10-4 event because we didn't even know what to call it back then. Like, I think it leaked first, and so
10-4 event.
We referred to it as 10-4.
10-4.
Look back at our early 10-4 stuff. We were covering at the time what we thought was this huge breakthrough in Chromebooks, Kevin, which turned out to be the baseboard for the Samsung Chromebook Plus and Pro that we talked about. But that was also during a time when the whole Andromeda thing was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
we thought...
Is Chrome OS and Android going to merge? Is this going to blah, blah, blah? Is this going to happen? Well, there's this device. Is that going to end up being... And so there's all this stuff in the 10-4 event, and Hiroshi says nothing's going to be the same after this. And like, whoa, this is going to be crazy. And it was a Pixel phone.
And then it was none of that.
It was the Google Assistant, though. The Google Assistant got introduced at that event.
Hey.
In a way,
it was right. Yeah.
It changed the course of what Google did for quite some time. The Google Assistant's in a funk right now, but
a shell of its former self, some might say.
Hopefully, generative AI is going to come help that.
It's going to make the assistant a whole new thing.
Can't get any worse.
Maybe
so it should
only
be better.
up from here.
It's real dumber.
Hey, I still use it to turn off my lights.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, pause the music sometimes. Yeah, do that.
Whenever I walked in here, I said, "Hey, Google, turn off."
It didn't listen to you the first time.
It didn't. I think it probably turned off the music for my wife at the house.
It heard you. It did the
It was like, hey, turning off music on main, which is my
which
home.
Is funny though, because Max that was playing heard you.
All right, and responded.
Right.
And said to me, so turning off music on main.
Let's see.
I'm like, that's not right.
I hear him say, turn off music. I'm playing music. I bet he wants it turned off somewhere else.
Yeah,
probably not here. Not here.
My
not
wife's
me.
like, what the heck?
So, yeah, Google Assistant is dumb. We know this at this point.
It is what it is.
But Renaissance is coming for that. And it was a changing, like a massive shift for Google, I think, and what they were going to pay attention to. And, they tried to delve into all that stuff. And I think they would have kept just moving in that same direction and working on AI kind of on the fringes over time. But then OpenAI came and kind of blew the door open. And
they were like, okay.
It shuddered. It was a big deal, like in last fall, a year ago. Like it changed a lot of stuff and trajectories changed because of it.
How much do you think that, I don't want to derail totally, but how much do you think that Google had been working on that was like so far beyond anything that ChatGPT 3 or 3.5 or 4?
I think they have AI models, generative AI models that go way beyond that. And I think OpenAI probably does too. But I think Google probably has some of the stuff that Sundar has said in interviews. Like he's clearly not going to come out and show all his cards, but he's hinted at the fact that the models for Bard and stuff are primitive compared to what they have. And I think Google would have been happy to slowly but surely integrate into products, and then they would have done it slowly over time. But part of this, I think, has been good because it's forced them to go ahead and push those things out and get them into products and like some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, like having generative AI throughout Chrome OS.
Well, in the workspace stuff
would that be on the horizon if all of this didn't happen?
No,
guarantee it would not. Like
the stuff Michael's written about with Duet, AI and everything in workspace.
Yeah, that stuff. To me, I feel like that stuff was good enough to go ahead and get out, and they were maybe dragging their feet a little bit on it, and deciding what they're going to do.
Somebody had to make the jump, and OpenAI, of course, was just like, let's just do
it. The unfortunate part of that, I think, is like the whole Bard thing. It was kind of we're going to slap this together just because what's popular right now is a bunch of generative AI chat bots. So that's popular. well, okay, we had Bard that we were messing with, but we'll push it out to the public. And it wasn't a great look.
Seemed a bit reactive.
It was,
Yeah.
100%. Based on some conversation that we had with some people.
Very reactive.
It was like, oh, God. Okay,
Here's this thing. It's part of what we can do.
And clearly, like what they said at I.O., when they mentioned AI, 98 times or 93 times or something like that, what they were trying to get across, and still are, I think, is like, hey, we've been doing this thing for a while, the AI thing, and we're injecting it into our products in ways that are actually helpful to people. And I'm not going to say ChatGPT isn't helpful in a lot of different ways, but it was like the cool kid for a little bit. I've seen some articles lately that show that ChatGPT's usage and stuff, and just generative AI is just kind of plummeted, which is to be expected. Hopefully no one was building Microsoft, maybe they put billions of dollars into it, but no one was building a whole empire based on what was a flash fry, basically.
Man, there's some tech bros in Silicon Valley right now that are like, I built this company on AI hype, and now I am screwed.
Hopefully people that that really took advantage were the people that used AI to build a company
cool
to do something cool. Yeah. Like, good for you, go for it. And that'll continue to be the thing.
There's one that
it was like that flash fry, like quick, like, this is gonna change everything, right. And it was like, it scared me a little bit. Like,
of course, with what we're doing with writing content and putting things on the internet. What is this going to do for us? I think we talked about it on the show.
And that part has kind of like calmed down, and it's like, okay, it's in its groove and it's doing what it's going to do. How AI is going to affect us on a broader level is kind of what I'm seeing Google do, where they're just like, every once in a while you just see a new thing come out. It's like, oh, that is a great way that AI could help fix that pain point.
There's an AI thing that I've wanted to dig into. I haven't done it yet. I forget the name of it. I would love to give them a shout out right now, but I'm blanking on the name, and I don't want to quote them or pronounce them or whatever.
Maybe I can find them.
It is an AI tool that will take your podcast long form video and create short form snippets for you. Starts with a Q, and I'm blanking.
Choppity?
No, that's not it.
Choppity.
I think it's choppity, but that's some Silicon Valley tech stuff that
it's make you a choppity doodity. I'm sure choppity's great.
I can't see the results here, but it starts with a Q. I'm almost certain.
Opus Clip?
Opus.
Is it?
Opus Clip.
I was just looking through the first one that looked like something legitimate.
Opus Clip. That's exactly it. Click on it real quick. Let's just show it off. So they basically take your long form. Yeah,
nice site.
Exactly what it says. They take their long form video, or your long form video, and create clips for you, and they generate, I think they do captions and everything. So it's probably some sort of, they maybe offer some version of free and then do paid stuff. Wow. But
AI virality score, look at that.
We're gonna go super viral.
I feel like our stuff, they'd be like, here, you get an 8. What's your score? 7.
Oh, cool. What are you doing here?
What are we looking for?
Oh, you're talking about Chromebooks?
Oh,
you're talking about Chromebooks? Oh, boy.
Maybe that one we'll give you a 12.
But yeah, shout out to these folks. It seems to be super legit. I haven't dug into it, to be honest, but I know of other creators, and I've heard of other folks using this.
But that's a perfect example.
That's like taking AI and like, here's a way we can condense this into a service that is useful for people.
Right.
Like,
and that's ChatGPT Bard thing. Like, just became this.
It's going to revolutionize everything. Everybody's going to lose their job. Everyone. Yeah. Everyone's going to lose their job.
And turns out coding isn't great with it so far. Like, I know Facebook.
I think there's some.
Put their, what's theirs called? Llama. They have a new coding tool with Llama. And it will get better. Like, that's the thing. Like, again, I keep saying flash fry, but that's what it felt like. It was just like, bye, everybody's freaking talking about it. The fact that something called ChatGPT became part of the zeitgeist of most people's awareness
is insane.
That tells you like the level of craziness that came with generative AI in the beginning. And it's funny, I'm at the beginning. It's been a year since it hit like popularity, September, I think, last year. And so it's calmed down around that. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form AI is going anywhere or changing or going away. It's not. It's going to start getting curated into things like this Opus Clip. It's going to get curated into different tools that help us do things that require massive amounts of time to do tedious work. And so if that describes your job, then the whole it's coming for your job is probably true.
Yeah, you got to do something that's more valuable to society.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry,
it is tough, and that's tough to hear. But it's no different
Kinda
than
sucks.
When different automation things happened in industry when we had the Industrial Revolution. Like that took away some jobs that people were doing, but it also created a bunch of new ones. And unless you're really good at being a futurist, you probably can't see what those jobs would be. And so.
Prompt writer. I'm diving all in. All I've done outside of Chrome Unbox is I'm a prompt pro. I'm a prompt consultant. If you're interested in me writing prompts, I'm just kidding. I have no idea about writing prompts, but there are people doing that.
I'm pretty good at it.
There are people doing it.
Not really, but
we've done okay.
We've done
okay. We've figured it out.
Yeah,
at
you
least
start using it
for our use.
And to be completely transparent, I think we've talked about it here, but trying to use it as a tool to help guide content creation, like not video scripts. Like that's been weird. It's too sensationalist for any of that stuff.
The YouTube stuff is not.
But
YouTube is so much more like personal, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like personality driven, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like
two people
YouTube has to be you
script.
like sitting and like
exactly
talking to someone.
Yeah, but for like written content, it becomes this really helpful tool. Like there's no way for us that I could plug anything into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you write a blog post for me? And then I would copy and paste it and post it. Like even though technically it wouldn't be plagiarism, because it does write a new thing. That's the beauty of generative AI. It writes a new thing. When I read back those things, I'm like, A, that doesn't sound anything like me, and B, it's wildly sensational sometimes. Like just it's too much. But it can
You will not believe the new recycled, upcycled, new
mind-blowingly
created from cardboard Vero Chromebook.
Like that's not true.
I don't think that's it. Yeah.
It's so recycled, it recycles itself.
If you want to throw away this Chromebook, it's 100%. No.
It'll biodegrade 10 times over. It'll actually biodegrade things around it.
Put this thing in your compost.
It'll become compost. It'll create compost out of everything around it within a 2-meter radius. It's not that bad, but that's what it feels like sometimes. Like it's just like, come on.
Yeah. Sometimes you read it back and it's like.
But what it's helped me to do is to reformulate ideas, like taking a couple blog posts and kind of let it spit that back out at me and read it and kind of read past the sensationalism and help me get it's almost like creating a proof, basically, like just a beginning outline to go by, and then using that to write inside. It's my process with GPT has been really interesting, but it helps me, I don't know, like it helps me get the thoughts from out of my head like onto the screen, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see that's pretty close to where I want to go with this. I'm basically going to rewrite the whole thing, but still I see it all in one place now. And maybe if I was better writer, like I would spend that time and maybe sit and just write bullet
sort of
points
outline,
and create the outline and then fill out the outline. But I like to write as I think. Like I've always been
stream of conscious.
Yeah, like I want to write it kind of as I'm saying it, and then I'll go back and kind of fix that. It's like it takes that first part out for me a little bit and helps me see the outline of it a little bit without it being bullet points. Like my brain doesn't do a good job taking bullet points to full written word. I'm seeing it in written word in outline form, and I kind of like the way that it laid it out. Cool. Now I'm going to go and use my voice to write the thing in that voice. It's kind of how I've used it. And so I've gotten really good at prompting, like figuring out ways to tell it I want to say this and do that and create this, and at least give me a better jumping off point to start writing, which has made us more productive. And like it'd be different again if we were just copy and pasting AI into our site. Like I would feel bad about that, I think. It'd be weird, super weird to do that. But at the same time, 3 months ago, I was, AI is going to take my job, or, AI shouldn't be used for any of that stuff. And I'm like, there are ways that you kind of find in the middle that let it take care of some of the tedium, like let it get rid of that stuff for you and use it. And there are certain professional fields where that's more than others. And so like with a law firm, I always come back to that. I'm like, man, if you're a law firm and you're not using AI yet, you should start. It's bonkers. But I mean, you don't have to use Chat GPT. You could use something like what Google's doing in I can't remember the name of the actual feature, but you use Google Docs for it, and you can upload all the papers you want. And then I don't think it's Notes. Wasn't it what it's called?
Shoot. I don't know, man. I remember exactly what you're talking about. It's essentially pulling from certain sources rather than pulling from all of the internet.
You add the sources for it to pull from, but you're using the same generative AI. And you got to remember, it can read through that in no time. So, perfect example.
2 seconds.
We did a video I didn't write a script for. And it's like, now I got to sit and watch this video and then try to take notes and think through, like, what did I say? And because I don't want to go write a review that doesn't kind of align with the video. So I took the transcript, threw it into GPT and said, hey, give me a post off of this. And it structured the post around the way that I just talked. And then obviously I went and had to go and fix most of it, but I could see it. It's on the screen now. And I'm like, cool. Okay. I got it. And I don't have to go spend the time to write all those notes down and make an outline and figure all that stuff out. It's on the screen. Now I can just go rewrite what it said in my voice and add some stuff, sure, and take out some of the sensational stuff and rearrange some. And it's not work, but it made it a whole lot easier for me. Like my process with it, it's super helpful.
Did you find it?
Notebook LM. That's right.
Notebook.
LM language model. So I don't know. I need to see if I put in my thing to get a trial, and I don't think I've still gotten it yet. But the idea Notebook LM would allow you to put stuff in Google Drive, like documents, PDFs, and all that stuff, and tell it, say, hey, okay, I want you to only reference this stuff, and what can we do with this? So imagine a student that's trying to write a thesis, or like anything where you're trying to get your brain around massive swaths of information.
Still information, essentially.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like, it's so time-consuming and tedious to do that. When you're trying to just, and I feel this constantly when I'm trying to write, there's sometimes I feel like my hands and the screen and the keyboard are an interference to what I'm trying to do, because I'm like, I already have the thought from what I'm going to say, the argument I'm going to make to say what I need to say, and the final product. It's already done. Like, I've already made the argument in my mind. I want to convey it fast, and words are much easier. Like, I can sit here and talk and say it and get it out and get to the point, versus sitting and typing. It's like, God, can you go faster? Like, I'm right there. I've got the point. I just want to make the thing. In ChatGPT or any other generative AI can do that fast, and obviously way faster than a human can. And so you can let it do the distilling of the data, and then you can see it in this clear way, and then make the points that you want to make about it. And so, again, law firms, you think about the amount of time that gets spent going over old court cases and precedents that were set in law. Imagine if you could just be the generative AI, all that, in literally within 2 minutes. Yeah, what would take 2 or 3 days of somebody working full time.
What does this thing mean?
And it's like, done.
Yeah.
And here are the different ways that you could make that argument. And here's all the data. Now
you still got to take it and maybe make the argument. Yeah.
You have to decide.
To people, to humans. Yeah.
You got to figure the logic part out of, okay,
does that make sense?
This data. Does this make sense to make this case? And you still have to do that stuff. But the distilling of the data, it can do in a snap. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And so we started all of this with you said, I don't want to derail. And I was I'm not derailing.
I don't want to derail. Oh, boy.
Way
15, 20 minutes later.
Did not mean to go off on an
I don't
AI
want to derail,
rant.
but how much data do you think Google has? This is what I said.
No.
And here we are.
We're talking about Google Assistant.
Like, yeah. Well, it was the
event,
and somehow it got brought up. Or do you think that they have models well beyond what we have now? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
The answer is an overwhelming yes.
If I would have said all that and gave it to ChatGPT, it would have been like,
here you go.
Yes.
Answer's yes.
Your answer here is yes. Just say yes.
Yes. Yeah.
We got my Stone Age brain. I gotta say it all out loud, please.
We got way more, dude. We got way more. Okay, so
that's our time.
There's a event on October 4th. There's going to be a new phone.
So
there's going to be a new watch.
Pixel 8 Pro.
They got
Pixel
leaked
Watch
accidentally.
2. The Pixel Watch 2 has not, like, I would have figured by now renders would have shown up. Like we'd have. Remember the Pixel Watch 1, granted it took a year and a half. But
it
we
was
had renders.
Leaked.
And
it was super leaked.
Some leaks and all this. There's not been any of that stuff yet. No like CAD renders, no official press photos, save one.
Other than this, pull this up.
This guy.
If you're watching here over on YouTube, you'll get a quick
I'm gonna zoom in,
peek here.
Make Chrome faster. Yeah, why not?
Sure. Is that the whole? Yeah.
So this photo was accidentally put on the Google Store subscription page. And clearly, what this is the fact that Tensor pixels, so Pixel 6, 7, and now 8, look pretty similar. So you got a Pixel on you, right? Flip that bad boy over. Can you see it on camera? I mean,
there it is.
That
versus
what's on screen. So you would forgive
that
any person who may not be like a real big phone nerd that probably works at Google or works for a marketing team. Honestly, that most of their marketing's outsourced. That when they said, "Hey, give us for this website redesign, we're going to do this landing page. We need just one of the photos of the Pixel 7 Pro,
the phone, just one of those phones,
Pixel Watch, kind of
like the phone, the watch,
or maybe the earbuds or something like that." And they're like, "Yeah, we got it." And it was something that got breezed over probably in a meeting. And then the page went live, and I would even think that probably some people at Google were like, "Cool, that looks great." Anyway, now what we're doing, blah blah blah, and then somebody on the internet saw it and went, "Wait a second, that's the Pixel 8." And the only really, there's two things. Like the colorway is probably this. It's the same porcelain colorways that you have in the Pixel Fold, and I think we've only had white, like white,
pure white,
on the 6 and 7. That same colorway is on his watch. So this photo obviously was meant
curated
to show off the Pixel 8 and the Pixel Watch 2. I mean, we don't know if it's a Pixel Watch 2.
It's a Pixel Watch 2.
The sides
zoom in on that.
That's as zoomy as I can get. The sides look a little flattened. I don't think it's going to be flat, but maybe the curvature doesn't start right at the edge. But it also could just be the photo. But there is no band that has that kind of champagne-y color that exists yet. So let's be honest. I mean, if they're going to if you're going to do a photo shoot for the Pixel 8, which is clear because it's the metal bar, but then the entire glass cover for the cameras. So the Pixel 6 was all glass. The Pixel 7 went glass. That's nice. It's really nice. You get a little bit of Park Mammoth on there.
Let's show off the golf course that's on my phone.
It's a little,
you can't really see it on this
funky
camera, but it's
but yeah,
bad.
So the 7 Pro had cutouts for each individual camera. The 8 now goes to one big cutout for the cameras, but with metal around it. So it's like a hybrid of the 6 and the 7 kind of together. There. So
it's a full you
and
see
then
the darker area.
There is a sensor underneath there. We don't have to talk about that now, but it's like a thermometer kind of thing. Still not sure how that's all going to work. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't feel good. I'm going to check my temperature and put my phone on my face, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Right here.
I mean,
feeling good.
For somebody with like a little kid that, you're like, can't tell if they're running a fever. I mean, that could be helpful. It's a weird thing to add to a smartphone, but whatever. Maybe they'll have some different thing they're going to do with it. But there's no reason that they would have had a photo shoot, which this is a curated photo, clearly, and then wear the Pixel Watch 1. That's not going to happen. So that's clearly the Pixel Watch 2. There's really nothing we can tell from it, from this image. It has been since taken down, obviously. It should not have been put up, but it was up. Nobody thought there wasn't going to be a Pixel Watch 2.
Don't mind me, I'm over here just cleaning my phone.
Joe's just going to go on a cleaning rant. But
right. I'm going to go get some cleaning stuff real quick.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
And, you know, like, yeah, this is kind of the first sighting of the Pixel Watch 2, but it's not much of a sighting because it doesn't tell us anything. But kudos to Google for kind of not letting the cat completely out of the bag with this. Like, all we've got on the Pixel Watch 2 is like FCC filings and some, you know, stuff in like Play Store apps and stuff like that. Like, the fact that it exists, basically, we've got that. And there's some specs that have, you know, leaked because of those things, as far as like, it's going to, I think, the same pixel density on the screen or pixel layout of the screen. I'm still hoping maybe they could have the same resolution and make a slightly bigger one. I hope, but maybe not. That guy seems like he's probably a pretty big guy. Maybe they have a bigger one. Who knows?
Just 2 sizes. Give us
2. Just big, small.
I like the size currently.
And I like I don't like my Galaxy Watch 5, but it's a 44.
44.
And it looks better on my wrist. It just does. Anywho, so kudos to them for not having that watch leaked all over the place, as far as like renders and images and all that kind of stuff of it, because the 8 and 8 Pro have leaked everywhere. And really, those phones come down to Tensor 3. How good is Tensor 3 going to be? I think they're saying Tensor 5. So in 2025, it'll finally be like a completely unique fabrication process. It won't be based on a Samsung chip. That'll be a cool year when that happens, but it's Tensor. Like, hopefully the upgrades are good, you know, and it's a little faster and maybe plays games a little better. Tensor 2 got really close to being like, cool, I don't really have to think about it with games.
Don't feel like I'm losing much, basically.
No, not really. But make the modem a little bit better, connectivity a little bit better,
Bluetooth,
that kind of stuff. Make Bluetooth stack better.
Bluetooth.
You know, and this sounds terrible.
Go ahead, but throw it in. Your
connecting
Tesla.
to the Tesla. I mean, with a car, any car, I will say this, any car that uses your phone as a key, like where you legitimately use your phone as the key to your car, you'll notice if the Bluetooth is a little wonky or not. My Pixel 7 Pro, there were just times I'd walk up to my car and I'm going pulling on the door and it's like Sentry mode's on and it's watching me. I'm like, it's me, dummy. Like, I'm right here. And flip my airplane mode and turn it back on and boom, I'm back in. Since you started using the S23 Ultra, I think one time, and I've been using this phone for a while now. I think I only took a break for the Pixel Fold. I think one time it didn't connect immediately, and so that just tells me the Bluetooth stack's not great on Tensor. So if they can get those connectivity things fixed up, I think we're fine. And some of the features that are coming to Pixel 8 could be really cool and worth it. And I do want to go back to the Pixel Watch, and using it with a Pixel phone kind of just, it's nice. Like
it's real nice,
it's nice
man.
when they kind of work together.
Come back, join the dark side.
It's the light side. It's the good, I don't know. And I don't have anything against Pixel phones. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one of those, like, I wanted to try something, and the Samsung's been fine. I do, like, every time I go back to a Pixel phone, I'm like, I do love the software. Google's take on Android is my favorite. But you know, this is a solid phone. Kudos to Samsung. They make good hardware. But yeah, so that's the event. And my point in all the whole, like, hey, the Pixel Watch hasn't leaked thing is maybe this is a long shot, but maybe Google has a surprise, like a new piece of hardware that didn't get leaked. If they've held the Pixel Watch off this well.
What are you suggesting?
I don't know.
What are you suggesting here, Robbie Payne?
I don't even know what would be.
What are you suggesting?
What would come? I don't know.
What is it?
No, I really don't. I got nothing. I don't even know.
You just think there's something. There could be something.
Could be something.
If they've held off and kept this watch under wraps,
that everyone knew was coming,
right,
from completely leaking out, that's a big step for Google, because they usually have everything leak completely out. So, but I'm like, we got the tablet, we got the foldable. I don't think there's going to be any new Pixel Buds. I mean, I don't know that they have any reason to update the Pixel Buds Pro. The only other hardware that's out there, which that'd be weird, kind of, to have an event with basically one phone, kind of two phones, 8 and 8 Pro and the watch. Because remember last year when they debuted those, they also talked about the Pixel tablet.
Oh yeah, Pixel tablet.
Made a big whole splash about it, even though it didn't come out for another 7-8 months.
But it was a big part of the presentation. It was a big part of the keynote.
Yeah. And Nest Wi-Fi Pro was new at that too. Well, there's a new Nest Wi-Fi floating around, but it apparently is going to be a more affordable Nest Wi-Fi. Like it's going to be some sort of Nest Wi-Fi that's not Pro, maybe that's got Wi-Fi 6E. I don't know. I just don't see them debuting that at the event. That's something that just shows up on the Walmart shelf.
Glasses.
There you go. Not really. I think
Apple,
I think they discontinued theirs.
Apple came out with their glasses, and
That's
so
it.
now Google's got to follow suit.
Google's back.
Google's back.
What was the cardboard thing? They had Google Cardboard, then Daydream's back.
Dude. Hey,
I said, you heard it here first. Daydream's back.
I thoroughly enjoyed
awesome.
Daydream.
It was awesome.
I thought it was a great piece of hardware. We used it back in the day. We were working at the time with a marketing company, and we used Daydream for a few different clients doing some really cool stuff, and it worked perfectly.
Yep.
It worked really great.
It was just another one of those. That was a very Google thing.
It's Daydream. It's Daydream with a huge battery pack. and a cord that goes down.
Millimeter wave fixes that.
Hey, there you go.
It does.
That's right. Maybe
glasses, wearables with millimeter wave is going to be the next thing.
That's the future, man.
It's going to be really
I
awesome.
believe you. I believe you.
It's going to be the next thing. I just don't think that's going to happen in October.
You said there's something new.
No, I said.
So now you're saying there's not something new.
There should be something. Like it'd be cool if there was. Like they're going to do a whole event for
2 things. Yeah, that would
a phone that like everybody's going to be like, Pixel 8, we got it.
Cool.
Like,
it's nice.
We know.
It's the update. That's what we wanted.
Like, here's Pixel Watch 2. Good.
Yeah, it looks good.
And from what we know, it looks like it's going to be a lot like the first one. Like there's going to be some good updates, like better processor, better battery, but
the casing and everything and the bands and all that is the same. They're not. I
feel like it's going to be very similar.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if it wasn't. It'd be cool if like.
It'd be cool if they did have another size.
Yes, if they did another size and keep the rounded look, because that's kind of your thing.
Just flatten her out a smidge.
Yeah,
just a smidge.
That picture kind of looks like it's
a bit pebbly, which they talked about. They were like, there's a whole pebble design. Like that was part of the design language of the first one.
I like it.
It's cool.
Just a larger,
saying, like,
larger
some
version
people,
would be cool.
Yeah. I'm saying like the flat, little bit flatter, not quite as pebbly.
Yeah,
I think some people will like.
I feel like this is too flat.
The Galaxy's like the full flat version.
Yeah, it's just like a cylinder cut. Like something a little rounder than that. I don't know, whatever.
So we'll see.
It's hard.
Hey, we know. I mean, now we know it's
October 4th,
a little over a month. We will know.
Yeah,
we'll know more
over a month. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy. A lot of stuff.
Will they do just those 2 items? Will they announce more? We will know more soon.
I'm sure 9 to 5, somebody will leak it to 9 to 5 Google.
Hey, if you want to leak it to us, let us know. Yeah. info@chromeunbox.com.
We'll tell the world.
Anonymous tips are welcome. All right. We appreciate you all tuning in and listening. I think that's it for this week. If you're watching over on YouTube, which you should be, because we're doing some extra little things.
All the on-screen
Check it out.
stuff.
Oh, well, we got a black screen over there.
We're back.
There's Robbie. There's the website. Check it out. We're doing some cool stuff. I love
that
it.
Featured image there.
Ooh, that's nice. Who did that? Who made that?
Yours truly. So that's actually the New York skyline where the event will be. I blurted it out just because it
at the pier
needed stuff. So we went out there last time we were up there visiting with the Google folks.
Hang out for a bit. Yeah, it was cool.
Walked through that place a little bit. Almost got escorted out by security.
We did. They did not want us there. Guests weren't welcome.
We're not. Even
I think we were just.
Even Peter was like, I don't know why they're telling us.
Our
to
rep
leave.
was like, sorry, I don't know either. Sorry, let's go. I was like, dude, it's fine. Let's go.
Yeah, but we got to walk through a lot of that building and kind of chill out and on the. It's like a patio. Roof?
Over terrace. Some might call it terrace.
Basically, maybe? Over the right there where the O is in Google. It's kind of right there, looking over the water. And then we went down to the driving range. That's down. We're just right down the road. Remember?
Don't recommend it. It looks like it's from the 80s.
It's super weird.
They haven't updated any of it from.
People seem to like it though.
Hey, look, you got limited options in New York City.
You're looking for Top Golf, but What's that? What's when people say, "Oh, that it's like Topgolf if somebody drew it from memory." That's what it was.
Sorry for anybody that goes to that driving range and loves it.
But you know it's true.
You know that is not Topgolf. All right, that is not Topgolf.
It was super weird. And the clubs we had to hit with, I was like,
oh man, it was bad. It was bad.
Walmart store rejects.
Yeah, it was bad. Anywho,
we tried it.
If you are going back to my outro, if you are on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up. Go down there and click subscribe and click the notification bell if you want an alert. If you don't want an alert, just don't click it. Just subscribe. That's cool too. If you do those things, we like you. All right. We'll catch you all next week. See ya.